It's food forest time. Let's get to it. We are talking about our food forest today. I got our baby fainting goat. He's about to be sold. He's been a great addition, but you can't keep a baby goat with his mama goat for too long, if you know what I mean. So we are going to be selling our little baby fainting goat. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about a food forest. I am really excited to start growing mushrooms. That's right, mushrooms. Now, mushrooms are a long-term investment that you gotta be patient with. It's not like you can get mushrooms in a single season, almost never. But with patience and hard work, you can get a nice mushroom garden going, and in a year or less, you may get some mushrooms. So that's what we're working on today. Working on my first mushroom garden. So a lot of people want to grow mushrooms. I know I do. So a lot of people first will pick their mushroom type, but that's not the thing to do. You don't want to first decide on what mushrooms you want to grow. At least in my opinion. You want to see what mushrooms can you grow. So there's lots of ways to grow mushrooms on different substrates. A lot of people do straw. You can buy small mushroom kits, but those get kind of expensive for a small yield. The best long-term method to grow most mushrooms is on mushroom logs, but most mushrooms are very specific and can only grow on certain types of trees. In general, a lot of hardwoods are great for growing mushrooms. There's a few that can grow on pine, very, very few. But first you need to figure out what trees are on my property, and that's gonna tell you what mushrooms you can grow. So I am going to check out some trees on my property, and from there I'm going to be able to figure out what logs can I grow. I know I have some oak trees out there. I'm not great at identifying oaks unless they have leaves on them, and leaves are pretty easy to tell me if it's an oak or not. But it is November. Most trees do not have any leaves right now. Thankfully, the oak is a tree that hangs on to their leaves late in the season. So if I work today, I can still find some oak trees with leaves on them, and then I can tag them for future mushroom logs. So let's go to the woods. Cherry, 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 we got cherry trees. We have tons and tons of cherry trees, which is awesome because one of my favorite mushrooms and a lot of people's favorite mushrooms grows on cherry trees, and that is shiitake. So right here we got a nice sized cherry tree. You don't want a giant log that's large in diameter unless you can carry it. I'm carrying some of these back from the woods a ways. And I mean, I'm pretty strong, but you know, if you get a gigantic log, just remember, you have to carry it. If they're smaller logs, they're easier to handle, and that's important. So the bigger the log is, the longer you will get mushrooms for several years. 5 years sometimes, you will be getting mushroom fruit. So we got cherry here. Cherry's great for shiitake. But it is also great for another mushroom that I don't know a lot about called black poplar. So I'm going to try a mushroom, not because I like it, but because I have the trees to grow it. So cherry is great for shiitake. and black poplar. I'm getting excited. I'm getting my mushroom plugs very soon. So let's keep seeing what trees we have. We have tons and tons of tulip poplar, which is right behind me here. I was surprised again. I am learning about mushrooms with you right now. Tulip poplar apparently is amazing for almost every type of oyster mushroom. So I'm going to get a couple types of oysters, and I have so many tulip poplars, probably on our 13 acres. I'm going to say at least 50 to 60% of our entire forest is tulip poplar. So again, I'm looking for a medium-sized tree that's easy to carry through the woods to get to my mushroom staging area. So far, we got cherry trees, which are great for shiitake and black poplar, and we have tons and tons of tulip poplar, which is the perfect tree for most oysters. So that's a pretty good start to my mushroom garden, but I am still trying to find the elusive oak. We have a walnut tree right here that I'm leaning against, and if you've been watching some of our videos, you know we have a lot of walnut trees, especially on the periphery of our pasture and woods. That seems to be the habitat of a lot of these walnut trees I'm finding. So we have a decent amount of walnuts. Most of them are kind of big. This is a good sized log or tree that's going to turn into mushroom logs. I did not know mushrooms could grow on walnuts. There's one variety or one species I found, lion's mane. So lion's mane grows on walnuts and tulip poplar. This is another example of not picking your mushrooms, but finding out what trees you have first to figure out what mushrooms you can grow. So I did not know anything grew on a walnut tree. Lion's mane, I've never had it. I know lots of people like it. There's some, I guess, uses for medicine with lion's mane, and also as a food source. Apparently it tastes like crab meat. I've never had it. So again, mushrooms are a long-term investment. It may be a year to several years that I will be getting mushrooms. I think it's going to be sooner, especially because I'm going to be making a lot of mushroom logs for myself, probably 30 or 40 this season. So walnuts are great for lion's mane. We found us an oak tree that is big enough for mushroom logs. It is a little on the small side, but that's okay. So I'm super excited. I got my mushroom tagging tape. I'm gonna tag this tree, and probably next month I'm going to plug my mushrooms. So oak, like I said several times, oak is great for most mushrooms. I'm going to be using it for shiitake, which I'm also using cherry for shiitake. Cherry, I should get blooms faster, but the oak is going to be a long-term mushroom log that's going to keep on giving back. So I found an oak tree. I'm happy with its size. I just love the food forest concept. You have to do a lot of work up front, but then you have a plentiful bounty that's going to produce food for you and your family for years to come. So thanks for joining us. We did find an oak tree, which is awesome. very soon I am going to be plugging my mushrooms. I'm ordering my plug soon, and I'm going to have a video on how to plug mushroom logs. So I'm just trying to help people out. I'm learning stuff every day. That's what I love about homesteading. There's so much to learn. So if you like our channel, please subscribe, comment, like, do all that stuff people do. And we will see you in the next video, and I hope everybody has a great homesteading adventure today, and we'll see you in the future.